Hello everyone, Vickieverlie here, Rock and Roll Prophetess. Today we're going to take a look at the new moon happening February 9th of 2024. And it's going to be at 5:59 p.m. Eastern Time, but times will vary. My name is Vickieverlie, and you can find me at vickieverlie.com. I will never message you or beware of imposters. They come up with new things every day. If you want to contact me, you've got to go through my website, vickieverlie.com. And you're watching the Rock and Roll Prophetess on YouTube. And I would love it if you subscribe and like the video to activate the old YouTube algorithm. It's helpful to me and it gets my message out to more people. This is an intuitive or psychic tarot reading. Not tarot reading, it's actually an astrology reading, but I do tarot readings as well. But this is a psychic or intuitive astrology reading, therefore I do get downloads and messages through my guides as the reading progresses, and I do tend to color outside the lines quite a bit, though based in astrology, and I have been studying astrology for decades. I don't know, I started really getting into astrology in the late 90s, so more than 20 years, probably 25 years of looking at actual charts and wheels. But anyways, here we go. So here we have this new moon in Aquarius. It's kicking off this Aquarian energy, as I spoke a little bit about in the February Horoscopes. As each of these planets came through, the moon, the sun, the moon, and then the Mars is going to come through too. They're all going to be conjuncting that Pluto at 0 of Aquarius. So they're getting that supercharge boost from the Pluto energy as they enter into this sign for the first time in, hundreds of years. So many of us have never experienced this energy. So it's all about the Aquarius energy. Not only that, the sun and the moon are conjunct, of course, at 20 degrees, signifying the new moon, right? And they are making a square over to Uranus at 19 degrees. Well, guess what Uranus is? Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, the ruling planet of all this Aquarian energy. It's calling in again. So it's really bringing in this Uranian energy, which of course is like this advanced technology, space age, breaking free of old paradigms. But it's also the brotherhood of man. And it's less about the stuff that I channel, the more I talk to my guides, it's less and less. The more advanced societies are not about war. That's why I can't stand those movies. Every movie they say, oh, it's an alien movie. I go, oh boy, it's an alien movie. And then it's this, it's all about let's break out the guns and we're going to kill them and we're the badasses and we're going to, that's not what it's about. They're very unwarlike. And they're very much, I'm sure there are some that are warlike, but overall I think Earth is kind of a lower vibration. But from what I've been shown, that it's more, everybody's together, it's all cool, there's no competition, it's to betterment of all. It's also living more simply is another part of it too. Not so much in possessions, not so much about possessions, but more about just higher thought, higher mind, growth beyond that. It's not like who has the most toys wins, or whatever. There's a saying that I'm not quite getting it right. Whoever has the mostest or something, I don't know. But yeah, that comes to mind. So we're really moving into this higher vibration, this higher dimensional realm, this higher Aquarian time frame. And the energy's changing. It's getting lighter. I just got done doing a couple of soul readings. The soul readings I offer are where I look at your chart. It's derived through your astrology chart as well. But I tune in and I get messages from the guides. And every time I'm tuning into these other times, well, some people have had lives on other, incarnational experiences. But a lot of it's like past lives on Earth. And you can just feel the density. And it's just a completely different, and people who are of a certain age can even remember, even in the 70s, 70s and 60s and beyond, 50s. There's people living who were alive in the 50s and 40s and 30s some, and there was a different energy, a different density, and we're just becoming more and more untethered, more and more expansive, more and more far-reaching. And one of the things is because of, the internet and everything too, and our technology and social media. I know social media can be really ugly, and there's a lot of, really ugly parts of social media that I don't like. But it just the fact that, like, I like Facebook just for groups. That's one of the reasons I stay on Facebook, is just for the groups. And because, you have a question, whatever, like I've been doing crocheting, or it's getting gardening time. I don't know how many gardening groups I'm in. And you got that hive mind, you can ask questions of people from all over the world, can be responding to your little gardening question, or whatever, or astrology groups too, there's just so many, you name it, and there's a group for it. And there's people from all over the world, and the access to that hive mind. That's just such a cool thing. And really, we don't, if we get real about it, we don't even need the internet, and this is something that's, many people have discovered, and these higher people too. There's no verbal or language or anything. That's why often it's hard to put, when I get these visions and this information, sometimes it's hard to put it into verbal language, because it's just, that's kind of rudimentary too, that we speak, and we have to speak to talk to each other. So it almost feels like this whole movement towards, even just like texting instead of speaking, which I'm actually not a fan of. Texting is great for me. It's like, yeah, I'll meet you at 5, or where's this place at? Send me the address, or what time you want to leave, or those, just setting up plans and stuff like that. But to have a whole conversation via text, I just find it so, I just don't like it. Well, just call me up, let's meet up, and let's actually talk. I don't want to have an entire conversation via text, And it's so, especially if somebody is trying to be pissy with you too. It's just like, it's like those keyboard warriors, it's just like, come and let's talk face to face. Let's be real. I'm not a fan. Texting is like having a virtual relationship, with somebody. So I'm not a big, there's great things about it. Like I said, hey, shoot me that address, or shoot me that website you were talking about, or just for real quick, those kinds of things. But for, a lot of younger people, I know my kids want to have like an entire conversation, this entire virtual relationship, and it's just like, if we have to really talk about something, I'd rather at least talk on the phone, or meet face. I know talking on the phone is so passé too, but whatever. But if you go back to the soulmate readings, the soulmate video I did, I offer a soulmate reading too, but there's a soulmate video. It's one of the first ones I did. And I think it was in the soulmate one, but I used to be able to do that. There was one person, he's passed on now, but there was one person in particular, he always moved. Back in the day when we used to write in our phone books, he had the whole page, because he was always moving, and when you moved, you had to get a new phone number, right? So it was like crossed out, crossed out, crossed out. The whole page was his numbers all crossed out. He was a bandmate and a lover, and a lot of different things to me over the years. I knew him since I was 13, 14, maybe even, until he passed away, in his mid-50s. So many years I knew him. And we were always close, and we kind of drifted in and out of each other's lives, for the duration. But because he moved so much, half the time I'd want to get a hold of him, and it's just like, well, I call the number, and this number is no longer. So, oh crap! All I would have to do was send out those vibes, man. I could send out those vibes, those telepathic vibes, and he would call me, and it was, I don't know how many times I did it. 50, 60, many times. If I ever had to get a hold of him, that's all I had to do, was send out those telepathic vibes, and he would get a hold of me. And I even mentioned that, I think it's the soulmate. It's one of my very first videos where I was just covering general metaphysical topics on my channel. But I've done that with other people too, but that was one, that a certain person that I did it with, many times. But I could always do that. If I was thinking about somebody before the internet, I'd just send out those vibes, and bam, I'd run into them even, or, different weird things would happen. Maybe not so weird, but you know what I'm saying? It would be sort of magical, I guess you could say, synchronistic. So that's really the higher nature of it all, is where I'm going with this, I think we'll be able to evolve. That's where we're eventually evolving toward, and, it's part of this whole thing of expansion of the higher mind, becoming more, being in that hive mind energy, being able to access even the Akashic records, perhaps, different things like that. The other thing in this chart, I just noticed right this minute, Venus is conjunct Mars in here. So love, love energy is abounding with that. And what is it doing? It seems like it's trining the Uranus. It's sextiling the Neptune. That could be some, because the Venus and Mars in Capricorn is not all that dreamy or romantic at all. It's just really not. I found, another ex-partner that just passed had, I think, Venus in Capricorn too. He had a lot of Capricorn in his chart, and they sometimes have trouble expressing. They're not mushy, lovey people. They sometimes have a hard time expressing love and expressing how they feel, so there could be a little bit of that. But anytime Venus and Mars join together, you're always looking at some kind of romantic opportunities, particularly if it is, it lines up with something in your chart, perhaps. But what I was saying about, there could be this little bit of awkwardness, or, it could be perceived as coldness, but it's really just a little bit awkward in dealing with emotions and stuff. Pisces is all about the emotions, right? The Neptune being the ruler of Pisces and in the sign of Pisces. That's why I'm referencing Pisces, Neptune. So that sextiling with that Neptune, that could really come in, or maybe somebody out there, I'm feeling like they're going to finally get off the nerve to say something. Like maybe you've been friends for a long time or been in the friend zone, and they just might finally, or maybe they'll, somebody will write you a little poem, or maybe even a secret admirer. Something along those, but something kind of romantic where there maybe was awkwardness or perceived coldness or whatever the case. And Uranus could be really, wow, unexpected. Never saw that coming. Or wow. I'm just getting, the guides are saying utterly delightful. That's what the guides talk about. Utterly delightful. Oh, geez, I forgot to put extra layers on this. Let's throw some on here now. Okay, yeah, so utterly delightful. Like, it's not like, ooh, some creepy weirdo sent me, it's like a stalker. It's like, oh, wow, look, isn't that sweet? Well, it's Valentine's Day, duh. Yeah, Valentine's Day is only a few days after that. So yeah, there could be a lot of that kind of stuff going on, I guess. I wasn't thinking of that, though, when it was coming to me. Here's the big one. And I was looking. I didn't look beyond. I happen to have the next chart already run. So I looked at the next chart, and it's really tight exact now. But this Chiron North Node thing is closing in. This is going to be a theme for all through February. It's really closing in. It's really, and it's actually, it's sextiling this sun, the new moon thing here. So yeah, this is really, and it's squaring the Venus. This is really calling us. It's a call to action, to do our soul work, to do our self-healing. We're not victims. We're not victims. Like my guides tell me this over and over again. We incarnate. I used to think it was tit for tat. Okay, I was this came through a long, long time ago. I was doing all these. This was like in the 90s. I was doing all these hypnosis tapes, where you self-hypnosis tapes actually, and I kept seeing over and over again, I'm this tyrant. I'm this man who's a tyrant, and I killed this woman with this little pistol in the drawer and all this stuff. I'm like, man, what's up with that? And I was not in a great relationship at that time, and I was just like, oh, I see. I've been a tyrant, so now I have to experience the other end of it. But then I got it, because it kept coming through, life after life, where I'm this man, this maybe a killer, like a warrior killer. I killed a lot of people, and that's all the things I kept seeing. Like I was like, whether it was in the line of duty as a soldier, or I definitely murdered this woman, and I know who it was in this life too. This guy I knew, but anyways. They're showing me this over and over. I'm like, what's all this about? So I'm like, oh, well, I must have to be in that shoes, and I might have to deal with a tyrannical man or something, or in this life, because it's a payback. And that's totally not true. My guide said that yes, it's true that you would experience all aspects of the situation, but it's so that you're supposed to not allow it. You're supposed to heal that. And, we incarnate into these family lines. When we get into the physical body, it's in the resonance of it. Because that's another thing my guides came through with. It says that's why we are born into the physical. Because during the incubation, the physical body is getting that hereditary karma is coming through, and it becomes part of the suit. You know, it's in it. It's woven right into it. So, you know, but we choose this. This is all a choice of lessons we're going to work on and things we're going to do. We choose all of it. But we don't choose it because we deserve to be punished because of some bad thing we did in another life. It's not like that. We choose it because we want to break those incarnational cycles. We want to be that warrior, maybe that black sheep even they just came through with, but we want to be that one who stops this thing. And I've used this example before, like if you were spanked and you don't spank your kids, they're not going to spank their kids. You know, that's just a real simple generational thing that can be broken, you know, or just different things. And it doesn't have to be even through children, because not everybody has children, but just through, you know, and it echoes out. It echoes out and it heals through the past and it heals through the everywhere, but it starts with you, because Aries is the first house. It's the self. It starts with where you're at right here and right now. And this is the collective thing that we're working on, and this Chiron is coming in and it's just intensifying it to the nth degree. It's just bringing in this maximum intensity of it's time to heal those wounds. And how do we do that? Not by pointing the finger at anybody else and saying, you're the bad guy and you did this, but by just doing it in our own physical resonance, our own aura, our own soul path, to endure it, to go through it. They want me to say to burn through it, but I guess walk through the fire is what they're showing me. Like, walk through the fire. Don't just say, well, my parents were a victim and that's why I'm a victim, and or this happened and that happened, you know, my parents were alcoholics, so then I'm going to be an alcoholic and all those things. You know, we come in to tackle those things. And it's for the betterment of all. It's for the betterment of all. But we have to do it on an individual basis. We have to do it within our individual, you know, incarnational journey, you know. And the family line is a big part of why we... and that's the energy of the Capricorn. You know, this the patriarchy, or Saturn is our, you know, our lineage, our where we come from, and all that stuff. So that's a big part of it. But these are choices we make because we think we can do it. We think we can be strong enough to, you know, we're going to be the one to make that change. But the guys just showed me that changes are made in small increments. But like the example of not spanking the kids, okay? You don't spank the kids, so then they're not going to spank their kids, and that's forever stopped. But some changes are, you know, more difficult to do. There's, you know, sometimes, you know, nobody completely gets everything that they set out to do in their soul's journey. Nobody. I mean, we have high expectations. When it's easy, you know, when you're from the outside looking in. Oh yeah, I'm going to incarnate on Earth. Oh yeah, a little bit of that. Yeah, I'll take that. Child, this, that, the other. Yeah, sure. That sounds like an interesting exploration. Then you get down here and it's just like, what the heck did I sign up for? Holy crap! This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. We still have the Saturn sextiling the Jupiter here, so that's a real nice... I know people don't like that. They say, oh, Saturn squishes all the Jupiter's mojo, but I don't buy that. I don't think that, and I don't buy that. Saturn, you know, and Jupiter together can build magnificent things. You know, they can be building those dreams, especially with Jupiter being in Taurus, too. It's really wanting to ground in the Earth and really wanting to, you know, build these things. And maybe it is, you know, because we've got the Pisces. Maybe it is just these generational things with the Saturn. Maybe we're just going to bring it in and it's going to last for generations. Saturn brings in things that will last for generations, but it's for good or for ill. It's not just the good stuff. It's a lot of times it's the hard stuff. But, you know, it's worth doing. It's worth doing the work because of the long-lasting rewards that echo out from the generations, but also within your own life. You know, the long-lasting reward, just like physical. You know, if you're out of shape and you start, you know, doing something, it's worth it. You know, it's hard work at first, but then it's hard work at first, but then your body craves it. You know, if you start doing something all the time and you don't do it, then your body's like, hey, almost like the dog that wants to go for the walk. It's like, hey, isn't this walk time? What's going on here? You know? But it'll bring those long-lasting results and that longevity. You know, Saturn is longevity. Okay, well, anything else that I haven't spoke on? There always is something. I don't do a big deep dive before I start or anything. Yeah, this Venus is squaring the nodes. Yeah, we talked about that, did we? Did Venus square the nodes? You know, well, this is like loving self-sacrifice or doing what's right for you. I mean, that's what I get out of here. Even the Libra can be self-sacrificing, you know. Dutiful. Venus and Capricorn, dutiful. South Node and Libra, you know, partnerships and stuff like that. You know, it's back to, this is, when I look at this chart, this is what grabs me. First thing I see when I open this chart, because that's how it works for me when I'm doing the readings, and the way I approach this stuff is I let my guides show me, and this is what they're showing me. This is the #1 kind of priority of this month even, but even for this new moon. How are you going to do the work to heal yourself? Physician, heal thyself. How are you going to put yourself first, but also without being a narcissist either? You know, there has to be a balance between both. There has to be the balance of the Libra. You have to be considerate of others, but you don't let them drag you away from your true soul's calling and your true destiny and your true soul mission, you know. Yeah, again, if you're interested in the soul readings, I do offer them where I take a look at your chart and I dive into some past life. My guides give me visions and stuff, and we kind of go over what you're working on in this incarnation. So if that interests you, I do have that stuff available. You like that deeper dive. That seems to be becoming more popular lately. More people are ordering that than a lot of other things. What do you got here? Pluto conjunct the Mercury, yeah. Pluto conjunct the Mercury, that's intense. It's actually moved out of orb, but I mean, it's still within a 7-degree orbs, but your words have power. Your words have power. Speak it out. Speak out your intentions. Say them, write them, speak them. Don't just be like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Write them down. Make the list. Say it. Say it out loud, because the resonance of sound, it carries energy too. Sing it out. Oh, what am I hearing? Sing it now. Oh, it's an old song from like the 70s. Sing, sing a song. Sing it loud. Sing it strong. Sing for all the world to hear. Or something, I don't know. I'm way out of key on that. Sing a song. Sing for all the world to hear. Just sing. Sing us a song. Yeah, that's part of it. La 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 la. Well, sing a song. Sing it out. Sing it strong. Yeah, that's what it was. Sing it strong. Yeah, it's a song from probably the 60s even, or the 70s. I think we even did that in choir maybe in elementary school, I seem to remember. But it was also a popular song on the radio back then. Anyhow. Speak it out. Speak your intentions. Maybe do a post. Some people do stuff on social media to keep themselves accountable, you know. Like I see people posting all the time, like they're here, I'm going for my walk, or I'm going to the gym, or here's what I ate today, you know, or whatever. And it's not because really anybody cares what you ate today or anything, but it's just a way of being held accountable, you know. But put it out there. Don't keep it within. Your words have power. But also with the Pluto energy, remember that, and Mars isn't that far away from the Pluto too, so there can be this combustible kind of stuff. You know, your words have power, so, you know, be careful, be kind, okay? You don't have to blurt out nasty things to people. Watch what you say, because you take others' feelings and whatever into consideration. Because not everybody's, it's about you. Not everybody's is where you're at. Not everybody has the same soul mission. Not everybody's working on the same thing right at this minute. They don't have to do what you do, you know. You just do. You do you, okay? This is what this is. But also not being in such an arrogant place of, yeah, I'm going to do me and piss on everybody else. It's not like that. It's, I'm going to do me, and I'm going to be the best me I can be, living my best life, doing the healing work, so I'm only competing against myself, you know, I'm only competing against my own personal best in whatever area it is. But that's what we're being called to do at this time. All right, everybody. Hey, don't forget about the Aries Ingress. I mean, this Aries Ingress is loaded with stuff. And we'll also look at those eclipses. It'll be a bi-wheel of your natal chart and the Aries Ingress. But I mean, there's a bunch of stuff going on. There's a Venus conjunction, I think Venus-Neptune conjunction at that time. I mean, we'll talk about this as it relates to your chart and the Chiron North Node. We'll talk about the eclipses, and it's a look ahead. It sets the tone for the upcoming season, and it is the astrological new year as well. The Aries Ingress, because Aries, of course, is the first sign of the zodiac, and it's a change of seasons, no matter where you're at. So it's a powerful turning point. But this year is super powerful with the eclipses and everything else that's happening. So a lot of people order it every year. It's one of my most popular. It's definitely the most popular astrology reading of the year. It'll only be available for a limited time, so if it does interest you, head over to my website, vickieverlie.com, because I'm not going to email you. I do send out emails periodically to my mailing list from my actual email, but I won't message you on social media or any of that stuff. Any of these tricks that a lot of these tricksters are trying to pull here and impersonating not only me, but everybody. It's just rampant. And again, Rock and Roll Prophetess, if you hit that subscribe and like button, it really helps me out a lot, and I do really appreciate it. Remember that you are love and beauty incarnate. Have a great new moon in Aquarius, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.